Hi, I wanted to do a brief meditation toward the end of the metal element early winter about discernment and about compassion for ourselves. So here goes. I happen to be at Kripalu right now and enjoying my first retreat here. So please join me in a comfortable position where your seat is either on the ground or you're laying down or perhaps you're walking. Taking a few nice, slow, deep breaths into your belly. Feeling any restrictions in your belly and your chest as you let the air enter. If you're in New England where I am, it's cold. So just feel the warmth of your breath, if you can, warming your body. Letting that inhale fill the belly, then the chest, stretching through any areas that feel restricted. And then starting to hold the breath for one beat at the top of the inhale before exhaling in a slower way. So you inhale maybe to a count of 4. You pause at the top. And then if you would, practice exhaling to a count of 6. We'll do that 3 or 4 times. You can slow the breath through the gentle closure of the back of the throat. You can slow the breath by opening your mouth and exhaling through your mouth and making a sound in the back of the throat. For me, I press the navel toward the back of the body on exhale. And as this becomes more and more natural, or you can choose to breathe any way you like, I'll invite you to start relaxing your physical body. First, noticing where you're holding tension. If you think about winter and being very cold, when your teeth are chattering, we pull the shoulders up and our neck gets tight, we make faces when we're really cold outside, trying to guard from the winter cold, the wind. So soften and relax all those muscles that relate to being cold. So first, bring a little warmth into the system. Imagine the element of fire. You could picture a beautiful fire in front of you, warming your hands, warming your heart. Feeling that warmth, softening the muscles in your face, your shoulders, your neck, softening your hands, and the rest of your body. The fire element comes to us in many parts of our body. There are actually 4 meridians that are fire in Chinese medicine. There are 2 meridians for the other elements. So we have fire predominantly in our belly and our chest, in our small intestine and our heart. So if you could imagine the fire in the belly warming your center, stimulating your enthusiasm, your excitement for life, anything that really motivates you, that's your fire in the belly. And then that is brought up to the chest. It warms our heart. And that fire element in the heart softens the layers of protection around the heart, the pericardium, so the 3rd element that is fire. And then we allow the fire to be in all 3 burners, or all 3 parts of our body that relate to what's called the triple burner or the triple warmer. So letting the warmth melt the outer layers of the heart protector, the pericardium. And what I picture to allow that is imagining that I have a warm sun in my chest, or imagining that in the base of my heart is a flame And that flame never goes out. That flame never goes out even when we die. That is the essence of who we are. Feeling that warmth in the chest, and then like a waterfall, allowing the warmth to move to the belly. And then down, warming your pelvic floor, allowing us to ground our energy. Feeling the warmth in the pelvic floor, the hips, softening your groin, softening the hips, softening the muscles of the lower back, and then down the sides of the legs to the feet. Before we move into winter metal, we will ground, feeling the energy of the earth. Feeling your tailbone. You might even imagine that it's stirring the earth. The earth herself would be quite cold this time of year. It's hard to stir the earth when it's very cold. But just imagine that you're connecting roots of a tree through the feet, letting yourself feel very grounded. In Chinese 5 elements, the order of elements is fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. So we have connected with our fire channels, the fire in our belly, small intestine, the heart, the small intestine, heart, pericardium, heart protector, and triple burner, triple warmer. We have warmed our centers, all 3, and we have then connected down, down, down to the earth, feeling her strength, her presence. And then as we move into metal, you may decide you want to place a hand on the chest and a hand on the lower belly. The metal elements are your lung and large intestine. So feeling the energy of the lungs, feel the connection of breath. Our breath is what connects us to every other being on the planet who's on the land. So the breath you could think about as being not your breath. It is our breath. It is the breath of the birds. It is the breath of the animals. It is the breath of the humans, the upright. Allowing yourself to ease and unrestrict the boundaries of yourself as you think of your breath and you think of this metal element in winter. Perhaps you think of your favorite mountain. All the minerals are related to the metal element. So think about your favorite mountain. And it doesn't have to be a winter scene that you picture, but if you want to, it certainly can be. This time of year, picturing yourself bundled up, perhaps you're in a cozy cabin and there's a fire in the fireplace and you feel the earth below and her minerals, and you feel the presence of that mountain behind you. If you're watching this in the summer, you could even lean into that mountain. If you're out snowshoeing or skiing, you could lean into that mountain with your cozy, warm winter clothing. And as you lean into that mountain, picturing the warmth from within, so the molten lava warmth within the metal, you feel the energy of winter. We feel the energy of having gone within. Having gone to the deep base of the mountain that is secure in the earth. We feel our breath in and we feel our breath out. We think emotionally about metal element as grief is sort of the first layer of metal. Grief comes in so many forms. We think of the grief of losing someone that we love, or perhaps a home that we've lost to fire. We think of loss of ourselves in life, being lost, grieving who we thought we would be. Perhaps today you're feeling grief, that you're feeling too tired to do much. Maybe your grief is really about not knowing who you are or what you want, or the grief of your heart that says, I wish I wanted something. I wish I knew what I wanted. I wish I wanted something for myself. This winter meditation, grief can be loss, breathing in the connection to all there is that brings comfort to your heart when you feel grief. Feeling grief where it is in your body. Does it feel like a sigh? People who grieve sigh. We think of the homeopathic remedy Ignatia. When we sigh in our grief, or we're anger in our grief, or we can't sleep in our grief, and we're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. This has been my pattern since my father died over the Thanksgiving weekend in 2023. It's as though I'm waking up at 3 in the morning to say, hello, grief. I'm so sad. I miss you so much. And yet I know you're right there, so close in my heart. I know the veil of illusion that says we are separate. And in reality, right in this moment, I am so sad. I miss you so much. So allow your grief to flow like a river moving down the mountain. Moving down the mountain, and if it is winter, allow it to freeze for a little while, or perhaps the snow needs to melt to move. We need to move our emotions so they don't become stuck. We need to move our emotions so our heart can open to love. And when we are trying to decide what to do with our grief or what to do with whatever emotions we're having this winter, we open to the concept of discernment. In Chinese medicine, the metal element holds our inner discernment. What do I keep and what do I let go of? What serves me and what does not? A dear friend gave me a book, and in the book it was quoting a Buddhist philosopher about letting go, something that is not easy for me. It was, are you holding on to the riverbanks as the river flows down, down, downstream? Are you holding on to the riverbank of yourself, of the concepts and ideas that you think you know of who you are, of how things should be? And if you can, at least in this meditation, let go of the riverbanks and allow yourself to float downstream in the middle of this river, feeling the discernment of what is holding on and what is simply being. When is it time to move forward? When is it time to be still? When is it time to retreat? This is from the I Ching, the Book of Changes. When is it time to take action? When is it time to just observe, to take it in, to pause? When is it time to back up, to say, perhaps I'm not using the right use of my will here. Perhaps I need to be more centered and grounded before I make a decision. Now I will retreat. Perhaps other factors like the astrology of the universe at the time or other people's stuff is right in your way and there is no way to move forward. Perhaps that is an illusion. Only you know. And trust me, you do know. You know the answers to your questions. Listen to your inner knowing. And retreat. Take a pause. If your well is empty, retreat. Take some time for yourself. Don't take action. If it's time to pause, simply be still. That's sort of like a shorter retreat. This time of stillness, we discern when it's time to move forward. The time of winter is a time to take all this in and make these decisions. It's not often a time to take action, but sometimes it is. So discernment is also about our inner discernment, our inner judge. There is no human on the planet who does not have one. There are some beautiful humans for whom have intellectual disabilities, and their inner judge is not always present. It is kind of beautiful. For those of us who do have an inner judge, she or he is something that serves us as children. The inner judge says, well, what do I do? What do I not do? Who is me and who is not me? When we discern from our parents, we decide, oh wait, I am myself. I am not them. I thought I was them. I am myself. And then sometimes we over discern. And that is where that voice of the inner critic comes in. So our inner critic came about in our lives with a really important purpose. That inner critic came about because we were not safe. We may not have been safe in a big, huge way, and we may not have been safe in a really small way. It might have been a simple thing like I'm cold. And so we brought out our inner discernment that said, I don't like the way this feels, so I'm going to put on a blanket or sit closer to the fire. We may have an inner critic that came about early. It may have come as the voice of someone who intentionally or unintentionally, through circumstances of what they might have been going through, may have come too harshly toward us, and we accepted that we must not be okay. If they could use this voice with us, I must not be okay. And as a parent, when I have used this voice and sent the message to my child that they are not okay, then my inner judge has come out because it is so harsh. And most of the time it wasn't deserved. It was what I was going through. And then my inner discernment, my inner critic comes to me saying, you've done it wrong. Well, that too comes from an experience in our childhood. Our inner critic, the metal element, the what do I keep, the what do I let go of, the inner discernment of the lung, breathing in, breathing out, taking in, exhaling, the large intestine. What am I going to take in that's food? What am I going to take in from this food? What are the breakdown products of this food that I can use to create my body, to create my nourishment? And then what is waste? What is ready to let go of? The inner discernment. And when we are in harmony and balance with our inner discernment, we have right use of will. And when we're out of balance, we can be very critical of ourselves. We can be critical of others. And I know the old saying in the world of psychology, if you're being critical of someone else, look at that within yourself. When you're being critical or judgmental toward another person, be soft and gentle and turn the mirror towards yourself, knowing, oh, I must have seen something in that threatened me, that showed me that I'm like that too, something that I didn't like. Perhaps I should look inward. And then the tendency is to then beat ourselves over the head with that. And when we are under discerning, we deflect. That's not my fault. I didn't do it. I'm not the one responsible here. You did it. And that lack of responsibility, the lack of ability to take right use of will from our center and move through the world, also does not need our inner critic's voice any longer as adults. If you are an adult, then what we need in most cases is our gracious, compassionate judge within. Most all humans have this gracious, compassionate judge within. We all can think of something that we feel compassion for. We all have different things that we are compassionate for effortlessly. It may be the planet. It may be a child. It may be a grandchild or an adorable puppy who maybe isn't your own. I'm not always compassionate with my own puppy. It may be compassion for somebody who you can just see really struggling in the world. It may be compassion for a country at war or whatever it is. We've had compassion. So take that compassion and turn it towards yourself. The hardest thing of all. This is not an easy task, but all emotions, all the things that we have inside, our inner critic, our inner compassion, our joy, our feelings of blame and anger, our feelings of beautiful exaltation, all those things are really not ours anyway. The Buddhist concept that we are in anger, we are in the flow of love. This is not my love, this is love universal. I am simply channeling a river of it to myself. That is also true for compassion. When I was in Tibet and went to a monastery, they were chanting a chant for compassion for everyone in the entire universe. They were chanting compassion for our emotions, for our physical bodies, for illness, for the animals, for the earth, and for the spirit beings, those who've passed on. So if that compassion could be something that we think of as not ours, but compassion that is universal, then there is really nothing that we've done or said or felt or thought that doesn't deserve this compassion. It just depends on how much training we have to put up a roadblock to it and how much warm love and kindness we might need in our hearts. So I invite you to take a breath of compassion for yourself. Bring it into your lungs and feel it in your chest and allow it to warm and move. And then exhale your inner critic. Go to her and allow her or him feel that sense of self who is the embodiment of the inner critic that you call yourself. What do they look like? What does this inner critic within yourself feel like? What is their posture? Are they haughty and kind of up in your face? Are they small? What is their temperament? Do they have like a color? And do they have, what do they wear? What does that inner critic wear? Get in touch with that part of yourself and imagine that you hold them by the hand. Most of us don't like this part of ourselves. We don't really like the inner critic who says, well, if you were more this or if you were more that, then you would be happier or people would like you better or you would be better at that or you should have done this and you should have done that. So those voices inside, we all have them. Allow yourself to feel that part of yourself from a distance. Notice who they are. And then imagine as the gracious, beautiful, compassionate judge within, that part of yourself that you have carried for others or for other objects or for the earth. Imagine she or he goes over and takes that other inner critic self by the hand. And we don't need to change our inner critic. We need to love them. We need to appreciate the role they've played in our lives with gratitude. So imagine you tell that part of yourself, thank you so much for keeping me safe in this life. Thank you so much for telling me what's in the right alignment for me and my body, my mind, and my spirit. And we are older now. So if you notice your inner critic, you will notice that they may be younger than you. And they may not know that you are an adult now. So let them know, hey, I'm 58. And as a 58-year-old, I love you and I love that you have played this role in my life, and I would like for you to take a break. I am inviting you to take a break and breathe with me here in this meditation, to not hold that you've been holding for so long. Allow that part of your being to lean into you. Perhaps you're back to back, or you're both side by side leaning into this mountain. Beginning to feel flexibility, as though the flame within the mountain, the molten lava, is beginning to start to move. You're safe, but just feel its warmth from a distance. Allow yourself flexibility of discernment, without judgment, with love, calling in compassion. This is a very brave thing to do. We don't think we deserve it. You do. You deserve compassion. There is no patient who sat in front of me in the office who I did not feel compassion for, no matter what their story. The beauty comes in all of the things that we're still working on. Comparing ourselves to others. Let that part of you lean against you as the younger child. Allow her or him to be held in your loving arms of compassion, to recognize that she or he, they do not have to hold that any longer. They do not have to be that inner critic all the time. When we need them, we will call upon them to help us with discernment, because they do play a normal, very basic, important role. Should I eat this rock? Probably not. Should I stand there holding the metal pole when the lightning is going to be coming because it's a storm? Probably not. Should I eat food that nourishes my body? Yes, let's do that. So I bring compassion to myself in this moment, and I bring compassion to you in this moment, and I call upon all of the deities and all of the spirits in the universe that play the role of metal. I bring in the breath. I connect with my bowels, these symbols of excreting all that I no longer need, my detoxification of my inner toxins when I ate the foods that maybe weren't so good for me. Compassion. And while I feel this inner breath and I feel this large intestine, I also feel the other elements. So I feel the fire warming my chest and my pericardium, softening my heart protector. I feel the earth really holding me underneath. I feel the metal with compassion. And I feel the water element moving down, down, down through my body, down to the earth. And I feel the water element down in the earth rising through my marrow, all the way up my spine, lifting my spine to my crown, cleansing my mind with compassion. And I feel the wood element with compassion as well. With compassion to my joints, I let them relax. With compassion for the wood element of anger and irritability and resentment. Oh, those are not mine either. Let yourself feel them. This is really hard stuff. This is really hard stuff. Being you is not wrong. You know what you need to do. Is it time to move forward? Is it time to hold still, or is it time to retreat? Discernment. And as we step closer to the water element, fire, earth, metal, water, wood, we land in toward the end 3 months of winter. And we look forward to that time. Allowing yourself to take a few more breaths, warming your hands by rubbing them together. Bringing the hands, I'll turn my phone now toward myself if I can. I am in my room here. So rubbing your hands together. I'm going to move so you can't see my mess. Oh, compassion for my mess. Oh my gosh. It is a bit of a mess in here because I am just me today. I am not holding the role as mother who has to clean the house in this moment. I am not me who is the housekeeper and all the other roles I play. I am just me in this moment. And maybe I'm not even me. Maybe I'm all of things that could ever be. My hands are getting nice and warm. We're going to imagine that we reach up and grasp a star, pulling it in. We're going to hold it down in our bellies. Feel that warmth. Bring the hands back to the face, washing your face, washing away all the emotions we felt during this meditation. It really wasn't an easy one. All the guilt and shame. All the getting in touch with the parts of ourselves that we feel should be different. Bring compassion through your throat, the medicine through your throat. Bring compassion back to your chest, holding your chest. And then in my lineage, my teacher, Heiner, Master Wong, they seal women right hand over the belly, left hand over the right hand. Men, it's the opposite. Seal in this change, seal in this transformation, sealing in all that you want to move forward with in your life, all that you want to feel more of in this moment. And sending compassion out to someone you love. Sending compassion to someone or a peoples or animals or the planet who you feel needs your love and compassion. And then sending compassion to someone who really drives you crazy, somebody who hurts when you're in their presence, it hurts. I am one with all there is. I am in the universe. I am the sky and the heavens above. I am the earth and the roots of the trees below. I am the water that flows around me. I am the ocean. I am the trees. I am the fire burning inside the mountain, the molten lava. I am the mountain.